Hi everyone, sorry for the delay. We have had some technical issues ourselves this morning, such as we have all experienced in the last 18 months, I am sure. So I'm hoping now everyone is able to see this presentation. Welcome to the Woodlands orientation. We are so happy that you were able to join us today. My name is Ms. Orr, and I am the head of guidance here at the Woodlands School, and we're going to get started today with our land acknowledgement. This is something that we start. That was me. This is something that we start with every morning when we sing our national anthem and we share the announcements of the day. So we begin today's presentation by acknowledging that we are situated on the treaty lands and traditional territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. For thousands of years, Indigenous peoples inhabited and cared for this land. In particular, we acknowledge the territory of the Anishinaabe, Huron-Wendat, Haudenosaunee, and Ojibwe peoples, and Adirondack, the land that is home to the Métis, and most recently the territory of the Mississauga of the Credit First Nation, who are direct descendants of the Mississaugas of the Credit. We do the land acknowledgement as a way to offer recognition and respect of treaty people. We do it to repair our relationship with Indigenous communities and with the land, to acknowledge ongoing settler colonialism, broken treaties, and the continued occupation of Indigenous lands. This slide depicts a mural called Original Family, printed by Philip Coate, an Indigenous artist, historian, and spiritual elder, who states, "My art is a form of activism." In Coate's words, this shows the beginning of our nation, history, culture, narrative, and continuation of the way in which our ancestors communicated across time. And it really is just a beautiful representation, and that's why I wanted to share it with everyone today. Next up, we are going to have some introductions by some staff that have joined us today. So hi, my name is Ms. Orr. I'm the head of guidance, student services, pathway planning here at the Woodlands School. For many of you, you've been talking to me over the phone or over MS Teams, and soon, hopefully, I will get to see many of you in person at next Thursday's first day of school. Joining us as well, we have Ms. Pishanik. She is our elementary guidance counselor and has a few words for you.
Good morning, everyone. So as Ms. Orr said, I am Mrs. Bachanik, and I am our guidance teacher as well as our special education teacher for our grades 7 and 8 students at the Woodlands. Looking forward to seeing you all next Thursday, bright and early in the morning. And just be aware that Ms. Orr, we're going to do a presentation for all of the Woodlands students. And then afterwards, I will post a link with an opportunity for elementary students to come join a separate meeting so that I can answer your specific questions that might be, only for grade 7 and 8 students. Okay, so please make sure you're watching for that link. Thanks very much, everyone.
Great, thank you so much, Ms. Pishanik. Next up, we have Mr. Zia. He is our new acting principal of the Woodlands School.
Thank you, and welcome to all of you for joining, and thank you for joining us in this presentation today. It's my absolute pleasure to be here at the Woodlands. I've heard so many great things about the students, the families, and the staff here. I'd like to just let you know that while we have been going through COVID over the last year and a half, I want to take a moment to thank all of you for your resilience and for supporting each other and for seeking support when necessary as we navigate the protocols around COVID. I'd like to also reassure you that safety and security is a priority here at the Woodlands, and that we are taking every precaution necessary to ensure that we are here to support our families and our students. Mental health and well-being is also a big part of what we do here at the Woodlands. And so I encourage all of you that as you go through the school year and as you grow and develop, please do take time to find out where the supports are and to seek out those supports when necessary, whether it's your teachers in the classroom, the guidance staff here, office staff, custodial staff, and of course, our administrative staff as well. I want to wish you the very best and hope that you are successful both academically as well as socially and emotionally. We're here for parents and we're here for our students and for the community. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the presentation, and looking forward to seeing you in the halls or online in future meetings. Thank you.
That's great. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Zia. Okay, so as I said, I'm Ms. Orr, head of guidance for secondary side, although I'm happy to help all grade 7s and 8s as well. We're going to do a bit of a general presentation first, and then we are going to separate, as Ms. Pachanik said, into elementary and secondary, just because there's a few different questions and answers for both sides of our school. So we're going to go now into the student services site, then we've got our safety video, then we're going to go through a map of the school, and then after that we're going to split ways and then go over a few additional information. So first and foremost, I want you all to know about the student services site that is available. We are adding information to it nearly every day. So this is going to be a school-wide website that you can go to. Parents can also have access to it. Last year we used the D2L class and just added the students to it, but so many of the resources are there for the parents as well. So we really wanted to make sure that everyone had equal access and equitable access to that. So you can, this link was emailed out to everyone on Friday. It's also going to be linked to our school site. So if you search up the Woodlands School, our Peel site is also going to have this linked onto there. It's also connected to all of our social media. So that is Twitter and Instagram, and we encourage everyone to check it out. If Ms. Figliota, who is helping us today with a big heartful thank you to me, because again, technology was not friendly this morning, if she could please click on that. And just give them a quick view of what it is. So when you click on this, it's going to take you to the home page, which gives you direct links to the Woodlands School Twitter, Student Services Twitter, and if you're in our enhanced learning program, Mr. Miller runs a Twitter as well, where he'll post things like AP exam opportunities, any kinds of successes or celebrations that we want to do. And if you are in the secondary side of things, we've got the how to make an appointment with your guidance counselor. I know Ms. Pachanik was setting something up similar to this, so I'll leave that to her to explain when we get over to the elementary side of things. But you can click on those links. It also has contact information, and if you look below that, it will also give you, if you have some specific question, let's say about dual credit co-op, well, that's Ms. Lagutis. Okay, so even if she's not your alpha guidance counselor, you can also talk to her about that. We've also got volunteering. Even if you're in grade 8 going into grade 9 at some point, you can volunteer and have that count towards your 40 hours, which is always a question that we have. So if you're in grade 8 and you've started your hours, that's okie dokie. We put all of that information there, as well as volunteer opportunities that we're aware of. So as people send us volunteer opportunities, we share them here with you. Any kind of announcement that is guidance related, we're going to post that on there. We've got mental health supports on there. We have, if you are looking for safe space information, we've got tons of resources there. Academic support is there. It's a great site, and as I said, we have more coming. We're going to have a dedicated elementary page, a dedicated special education page. We're going to have a dedicated clubs page as well, and all of that is stuff that we are just putting together right now, but we wanted to get that out to you sooner rather than later. So please do check it out regularly, and you'll find some great resources on there. All right, next up, we have a really important video to share with you. And so Mr. Fong is one of our science teachers, and he very graciously starred in this video last year. There's going to be a couple changes that I want to review, but on a whole, this video is really great to watch. So please join me in the Woodlands School Procedures video.
Oh, what's the matter, Mr. Fong? Are you feeling a little bit anxious about the start of school this year? Well, put some spring in your step. I'm going to give you a quick tour of some of the new procedures that will be in place this year.
Make sure you check the room numbers posted at every door so you can enter the building from your assigned entrance. You can check the timetable that was emailed for you in case you've forgotten your room number. The doors will be locked at all times, so when you find your classroom door, please wait patiently outside for your teacher to let you in. Don't forget to sanitize upon entering the building. Then proceed directly to your classroom. Don't stop at the washroom. You'll be walked out this same exit at the end of class. Follow the directional signs as best you can, and always remember to keep to the right side of the hallway. Stairwells should only be used to get to designated second-floor classrooms. Remember to keep to the right as much as possible. Some common areas in the building are now closed for student use, including the cafeteria, the library, and the weight and spin rooms. Use the QR codes posted outside the guidance office for various things such as booking appointments or requesting a course change. If you need something from the office, please follow the posted procedures. The office can get quite busy, so please wait patiently for assistance. Don't do this. Instead, just ring the bell once and patiently wait where it indicates. Pay close attention to the washroom signs. Your classroom will be assigned one washroom in the entire building. The washroom capacity is one at a time. First check to see if there's a pylon in front of the door. If there's no pylon, you're in business. Then move the pylon in front of the door with your foot to indicate the washroom is in use. Please note that there is only one stall and one sink available to use in every washroom. If you do see a pylon, then the washroom is in use. Please wait by the designated sign.
When you leave the washroom, remember to kick the pylon back inside the door.
Not so fast, Mr. Fong. These contactless fill stations are for water bottles only.
Okay, so it's a fun little video, but much of it still stands with a few changes. So if we can move to what's new this year, please. Perfect, thank you. So new this year, as the situation continues to unfold, for right now, our library learning commons and cafeteria will be open. So this again is new because last year, as many of you may have heard, our library and cafeteria was primarily used as storage because we did have to social distance in classrooms. We had to have a place to put all of our stuff, and because that was a shared space, it wasn't something that was within control, so they were closed due to Peel Public Health. We are able to open these. There will be some procedural stuff in effect for both the library learning commons and the cafeteria. For instance, the cafeteria is going to have an assigned seating of sorts, right? So we're trying to minimize so that if we do need to do anything like a contact tracing, we're able to do so even though you are sharing space in the cafeteria. Do you have to eat in the cafeteria? No, you do not. If you want to go outside, you want to go home, you just want to, find a spot outside of the school to have your lunch, you by all means, of course, can. And more information about about that is going to be sent out closer to the beginning of school. The Library Learning Commons is currently reviewing all of the criteria that we need to meet in order to open safely. There will probably be appointment times to come in for classes, as well as very limited space for lunch if that's where you decide that you want to work. It's going to be limited capacity, social distancing, and all of that. So exiting the building after class and lunch hour is also going to be different. Yes, we are still using assigned doors, and I'm going to go over that in a quick second. But you don't have to leave the building as soon as your class is done. Again, last year, you went in for class, you stayed for class, you left because the afternoon was online. This year, it's not. If you are attending in person, that means you are using the door that's assigned to you to enter the building. But once you are in the building, you can, again, right, you can go to the cafeteria for lunch, you can stay in the building the whole day, and then you would use either your door or the front door to exit. Things are going to be ongoing and changing as we go. Last year, the weight room was closed. Right now, it remains closed. Again, we are reviewing criteria, and as Peel Public Health opens things up, we hope to get that open. Some gym classes may use the weight room. Again, that's different than just students signing it out, having a teacher supervision, and going in there. Bathrooms as well. So it used to be before your class was assigned a specific bathroom. That's not so much the case now. We still want you to stick to, there still will be classrooms that are listed to that bathroom. But if you find yourself, again, right, you went to lunch, or you maybe came down to guidance, or you came to the office or something and you need to go to the bathroom on the way back, you can use a bathroom that you are closest to. Same thing goes with water fountains. It used to be that water fountains were assigned by room number as well. Those water fountains are now any use. So if you are closer to one particular water fountain, by all means, please use the reserve stations. The water fountain themselves are still not open, but please bring a reusable bottle and you're good to go. Main office and student services remains closed to students unless you have an appointment with your guidance counselor that is specific to being in the office. Other than that, guidance counselors are happy to meet you wherever you are. We will be outside for the first week and a bit to greet you at the front door if you have questions. I love guidance appointments that are walks. We'll happily take a walk around outside with you. We also can meet you through MS Teams by phone appointment, and same thing goes with the office. Lockers, right now we are not doing lockers, but again, administration are reviewing the criteria for lockers and will open those up as soon as it is safe to do so. Directional signs. So same thing, yes, you want to walk on the correct side of the hall, but now if you find yourself, and you're like, I need this classroom, but I'm not walking the whole way around, that's fine. You don't have to do the particular direction anymore. You just need to stick to that side of the hall. Same thing goes with the stairwells. Okay, and I mean, as I said, as information becomes available and as we update all of our safety protocols, we will certainly communicate that both to parents and to students. Next slide, please. So you heard me talk about the doors, and I know this map isn't super clear. We're going to be loading this up onto the Student Services site. It will also be emailed to all students and parents before the beginning of the school. And so you'll see that we've minimized our entrances. It was before that we were using every single entrance. We've now minimized it to 5. So you've got more classrooms that are coming in per door. And again, we're doing good, and so we're able to open up a little bit. We're still not only using the main entrance, and as you'll see, some of you now have portables. We have 4 portables on our map now as well. So you'll be using this for your period 1 class. So in the morning when you get there, if you're elementary, you have the back door that is closest to all of the elementary classrooms. So all elementary classrooms will use door 5. But everyone else, thank you, Ms. Figliota. So everyone else, you're going to look for your period 1 class and you are going to use that assigned door. And then if you're late and you've missed the door, then you are going to go to the main entrance. Thank you very much. And you're going to ring the doorbell and someone's going to come and let you in and send you off to class. Same thing goes if you go out for lunch, elementary or secondary. If you go out for lunch, you are going to use the main door as well so that you can come in through that way. Okay. So doors will open at 8:05. This is also new this year. It used to be that you couldn't come into the building before 8:20. So now everything is as early as 8:05. Enter through the door assigned in the morning. Those doors will be locked at 8:20, which is why you're then going to have to come to the main entrance and ring the doorbell. We are going to do the staggered dismissals at lunch and at the end of the day to promote physical distancing. And again, as I said, if you go outside for lunch, please make sure that you are using that main entrance and you're giving yourself enough time to come back for the beginning of your class. All right, so now you see the map, and now we're going to kind of go over some key areas in the school and on the school grounds that you're going to be interested to go into. So our first place is the front of the school. So many of you have seen it. So we have our main entrance. That's where you're going to go to if you are being dropped off. Any of the buses is going to drop you off here. So if you are dropped off by your parents or if you come via bus, you're going to get dropped off at the front. So if your entrance is at the back of the school, you will have to walk there, okay? Some parents are going to aim to drop their students off at the back of the school. We ask that only elementary students do so. Everyone else should be using the front because there's also a McBride Elementary School back there and things get very hectic and it's very dangerous if we have too many people driving about in that parking lot. So please, only elementary use that back. Then we also have our reconciliation garden, which if you're looking at the very front of the school is off to the left-hand side. And we love our reconciliation garden. It was built by our reconciliation club, and it's a great place if you want to go outside. If you want to contribute to the reconciliation club, I encourage you to join it. It did run last year, even during COVID, and you'll see announcements for that and all of our clubs in the first few weeks of school. And they really do great work with our Indigenous communities. And I don't know, I love going to our reconciliation garden. It's very peaceful. All right, next, please. So once you come in, you're going to see our front foyer, and our front foyer is the main hub of all activity in our school. So anytime that we have events, anytime that we have student appreciation breakfasts, exemption days, any kind of activity, it always takes place in the main foyer. From the main foyer, you can actually access the main entrance, our cafeteria, our lecture hall, our main office, and just around the corner from the main office is student services. So if you can get yourself to the front foyer, you're in good shape, okay? Off to the side is our cafeteria. And again, I said it's going to be open this year due to COVID-19. We will have some safety protocols in place, so please make sure that you're always following those signs so that we can ensure that everyone is nice and safe. The food eatery for now remains closed, and again, that's mostly because of COVID-19, and I have no ETA on when that may open. That is entirely up to Peel Public Health, the school board, and the company that runs the eatery. Next, please. All right, so we have main reception, aka the main office. So again, as I said before, this is going to remain closed for a little bit. I do know they hope to reopen it, but if you see the door just off to this side, and Ms. Gigliotta will be amazing and circle that for you. Fantastic, thank you. That's called the barn door because that top door opens, and that, as you saw in the video, you're going to be able to access all of the main office staff through that door. So if you need to make a phone call home, if you're not feeling well, if you need first aid, if you need to speak to your vice principal, that is the place to go, and they will be happy to help you. If you go upstairs, so if you come in through any of the doors, you go upstairs. Upstairs is kind of a really big 2 circles. And if you go to the big circle, you will see, or rectangle, I guess I should say, you're going to see the library learning commons. And as I said, this is going to be open with a few safety protocols in place. But if you need to borrow a device, sign out a library book, need a place to work or collaborate with your peers, print your work or need some assistance from teacher, libraries and librarians, please come on up. We are always happy to help. You'll find either myself, Mr. Johnston, or any of the other teacher librarians up there that are happy to help you with that. Next, please. All right, and many of you are going to have phys ed. So we have 2 gyms that actually can close and become 4 smaller gyms. But this is also a place where we have our events such as open houses and parent nights and international bazaar and intramural sports. So it is a really big hub, and of course, just across from the gym is also our music bay. And so if you're in any of the music classes, that's where you're going to be going for that as well. Next, please. All right, so services available to students. So on the academic side of things, you're going to be able to access a lot of this through the student services site that I discussed with you. So you're going to have special education. We have a great contact room that is going to be open again this year. We have the student success, which also Ms. Bigliota it runs, and there's tons of student success events throughout the year. We have student services, which is your guidance counselor, pathway planning. If you need a little bit of help, if you're just having a bit of a tough time transitioning to school. Many of you have been home for the last year and a half, and being back in a building can be an intimidating thing. Please come down to student services, and even though we're not, the office itself isn't open, we are still there for you 100%, and we'll see you and chat with you and support you. We also have a peer mentor and mentee program, and information about that is going to be posted up on that student services site as well. Extracurricular, so we have our mental health and wellness days, and those are always fun. We're going to be trying to run something every month. Sometimes we bring in petting zoos, sometimes we do painting, puzzles. We've brought in a therapy dog before weekly, and he was fantastic. So we're looking to start bringing all of this stuff back for you. We are working on a club fair. It's probably going to take place outside, but we are working on putting all of that information together for you and hopefully getting that stuff out to you within the first few weeks of school. Various clubs, teams, and events. We are a busy school. Even during COVID, we ran many of our stuff online, both elementary and in secondary. So we're hoping that you're able to come out. With the gyms open again, intramural sports, hopefully we'll be able to get started back up again. Again, that's an elementary and secondary thing, as well as exemption days. What's an exemption day? It's the best day of the month. So clubs sponsor food for lunch, breakfast, after school snacks. And so you can purchase whatever is being offered that day. DECA usually does Krispy Kreme donuts. Robotics has done, samosas. Oh, I almost forgot the word. They're delicious. French Club does crepes. It's great. It's a great day to be at the Woodlands. So you're not going to want to miss those once we're able to get those started back up. And again, those aren't starting right away, but I'm hopeful. And then we also have the Student Activity Council that plan lots of events online and in person for all students. Okay. So our next slide is a blank one, and that is because at this time I'm going to invite all elementary folk to click on the link that Ms. Pashanik is going to send to everyone so that you can join for elementary specific information.
Hey, Ms. Orr, I believe I have posted the information for our grade 7 and 8 students. Can you see that?
I have not seen a link, no. Wait. Oh, yeah, we go. There we go. All right, so please, all elementary, please click on that link. Secondary, stay here. And we'll give them a minute to do that. Okay, so if you go to the chat, the live event Q&A, you should see the link that Ms. Pashanik posted for all elementary students. So if you are in grade 7 or grade 8, please click on that link, and that's going to take you to a new MS Team event, and we'll let you ask specific elementary information. Okay. All right, so a couple questions that I've gotten that I'm going to take care of really quickly here. Do you have to be vaccinated to go to school? No, you don't. Of course, the Peel District School Board encourages all students who are eligible to be vaccinated to get vaccinated, but you do not have to be vaccinated in order to attend school. We will follow all guidelines set out by not only Peel Public Health, but Ontario Health Ministers. So should their policy change, I would anticipate the Peel District School Board policy would change as well. What you must do every day, though, is your daily screening. And you'll have to do that daily screening, show that to your classroom teacher in order to be permitted into the building. When should we expect to receive child's classroom information? So timetables were sent out to all secondary students on Monday. Those were your tentative timetables so that could prompt course change requests, which is live and will be live until next Friday. But we will be sending out new timetables probably, don't quote me, but maybe Tuesday as late as Wednesday, so that you have that updated information. How is ELP being delivered? Are there separate classes, teachers, and information about club participations and timings? Okay, so for ELP, if you are in the enhanced learning program, and you're in grade 9, you have dedicated enhanced classes that you are part of. So that would be your English, math, science, and geography are all enhanced learning, and so the enhanced learning will be taking place in there. Can we bring our own lunch? No, you can bring your own lunch because we don't have any food to give you. Okay, I'm going to move to the next slide. Please and thank you. So this is what your timetable is going to look like. And as I said, as you have a question, please post them. What is the contact room? The contact room is a room with which if you just need a bit of space to work, you know, you've kind of had a day and you need a minute and you don't really want a lot of noise and you don't necessarily want to go to the library, but contact is there. There's a couple teachers that are in there that can help you process how you're feeling, or they can leave you be but support you in your learning. So if you ever kind of need that kind of support, you can also talk to your guidance counselor about the contact room and we can go into more specifics with that for you. Okay, so again, I'll keep flipping back and forth in between content and questions, and then I'll answer all the questions that are remaining at the end. So what does my timetable look like? This is probably one of our biggest questions that we've had so far. So these are the timings that you're going to have. So from 8:20, so remember the doors open at 8:05 and class begins at 8:20. Period 1 will run until 10:50. So if you have, so for instance, this student has tech in room 104, you are going to enter the door assigned to room 104 and then make your way to class. And then you are with that classroom teacher from 8:20 to 10:50. From 10:50 to 12:10 is lunch. So it's an hour and 20 minutes, which is great because if you want to go home, you can go home. If you want to stay, you can stay. If you want to go outside, you can go outside. You want to walk to the plaza and, you know, grab Miss Orr a large steep tea, you can certainly do that. But the time is yours. If you want to work on your stuff, you want to meet your friends, you want to socialize, again, social distancing, but there you go. That is a great time to do it. You're also going to find that some clubs are running during lunch. I don't have the specifics on all of that, but I would assume that some clubs will meet outside just for safety and physical distancing. Then you're going to come back in from lunch. If you've gone outside, remember you're using that main entrance and you need to make sure that you are in your classroom for 12:10. Okay, so you're going to want to make sure that you're entering that door at 12, you're going to the bathroom, get yourself a drink of water, whatever, and then you're going to class. So now you've got class with Miss Hishak in room 211, and you're going to make your way up there. Again, sanitizing on the way in, masks need to be worn, physical distancing the whole time. So what's new this year is the flip-flop back and forth of week 1 and week 2. So you're going to see at the top of your schedule week 1. So that means period 1 is always going to be tech. Period 2 is always going to be French for week 1. And then in week 2, you have music in period 1 and tech in period 2 for all of week 2. And we flip-flop back and forth between week 1 and week 2. Okay, we're going to post the full schedule again up on that student services site so that you can print that off and post it somewhere so that you always know what class you're supposed to have. And again, always that class in the morning, always that class in the afternoon. We're not doing any kind of other flipping than the week 1 to week 2. Okay. So you're going to have your full timetable. If there's anything on your timetable that you see and you're like, I already took this course, then you're going to want to let your guidance counselor know that immediately. Again, we sent out timetables on Monday. If you did not get it, it's because you are super brand new to the board and your email hasn't been set up yet. So please access the student services site. You're going to see your guidance counselor's email address on there. Please email your guidance counselor and we will send you a copy of your timetable so that you can review them. Okay. Next slide, please. Thank you. So important things to remember, school doors open at 8:05. If you are late or returning from lunch, you must enter through the main entrance. Masks must be worn at all times inside the school. If you are outdoors for class, please ensure you are following the instructions given to you by your teacher. Classes like phys ed in certain situations can take their masks off, but again, if they're playing a specific sport, your teacher may ask you to keep them on if you're in close contact with students. When entering the building, you must sanitize your hands. We're going to have sanitization stations at each door. Please practice social distancing when possible. Respect everyone's space. If you have concerns, please speak to your class teacher or come to the main office. Only students of the Woodlands schools are permitted in the building. So if your parent would like to speak to someone at the school, we ask that you call first. And we can usually set up an appointment in a different way. Again, as Peel Public Health opens things up, that may be subject to change. So you must complete your COVID-19 screening every day. You will need to show this to your classroom teacher. We're going to link that up onto the student services site as well. And if you feel ill at any time throughout the day, please let your classroom teacher know. So that we can keep track of everything. If you are exhibiting any signs or symptoms of COVID, we will ask you to just go home, get a rapid test done, and then you're free to come back to the school once you have a negative result. And then, of course, you want to stay up to date on all important information. And the best way to do that is to look at the social media sites and the student services site. So that's pretty much it. Next one is all questions. So if you've got questions, please post them in the chat and I will be happy to go through everything with you. And then you can see my face as I'm answering. So does the schedule for secondary school be split in person and online? So it's a kind of two-step question there. So one, if you are online, you are 100% online. If you are in person, you are 100% in person. That means your morning class and your afternoon class are in person. That being said, if you are online or in person, you have the same teacher. So if you have, let's say, Miss Raybold for biology, some of you are going to be online, some of you are going to be in person. Okay, but you're getting the exact same content, similar to what it was at the end of last year. My child is going to grade 9. She's not received her timetable. So how can we get, okay, again, just access the student services site. You're going to see the contact information. It is broken down by alpha. So Miss Vigliota is A to D, Miss Lagutis is E to M, and then I am N through Z. So that you can just email one of us and say, didn't receive a timetable. Can you please send me a copy and we'll send you one. Can we, oh yeah, so the schedule, absolutely. So a term, runs through half of the semester. And the only time, oh, thank you very much, Ms. Vigliota. So it really only matters if you're doing civics and careers, right? Because civics would be one part of the term and then careers would be the other part. The semester will run from September to the end of January, and then semester 2 will run from the beginning of February to the end of June. So don't worry too much about term when you are, especially in grade 9. For grade 10s, it only matters for civics and careers. The other thing that you have to know is at the end of term 1, or at the end of term 3, you get a midterm report card, and then that's it. So that's the only difference between terms. Grade 10 is civics and careers, and at the end of each term is a reporting cycle. So you'll get a midterm report card and then a final semester report card. What's my dog doing? He's being loud, is what he's being. If you ever come in, you'll see pictures of him in my office, and he is an old cantankerous soul, but he's also very loud, so I do apologize for that. But that's what my dog's doing. He's pacing, waiting for me to go out for a walk with him. What time does school start and end? It starts at 8:20. Again, your doors open at 8:05, and for secondary, we are done at 2:40. Elementary may finish a little earlier, but again, that's why we have different information sessions for elementary and secondary. When do we get dismissed? So again, it's a staggered dismissal, but everyone will be out of the building by 2:40. There will be no lingering in the building after 2:40, and that's because our custodian crew is amazing, but it's a big school, and there's only about 4 or 5 of them, and they need all the time in the world to sanitize and get everything ready for the next morning. So we will not be sticking around school after 2:40 unless it's for a very specific purpose or event. Our locker is going to be used this year. Not yet. It is an available option, but however, we need to be able to do so safely. And we're just not there yet in terms of appeal boards sending out a few more policies, regulations. We want to make sure that we are being as safe as possible for all of our students. So for right now, the answer is no, but I do know it is something that is on the admin's mind. They really want to make sure life is as back to what it was for your high school experience as possible. So stay tuned for that, for lockers. How do I read the schedule? I know it talks about the subject, teacher, and room, but how do I read term 1, week 1? So again, don't worry about the term 1. All you really want to know is week 1, week 2, and you're going to want to follow the schedule that as soon as I finish this presentation, I'm going to post the schedule because I just got it yesterday up onto the Student Services site so that you can print that schedule off. That's the only thing that you need to be able to follow. And if you are worried about the course codes and you have questions, Google is great for course codes. Just drop off the 6th character. So TDJ20. I always take for granted that I know that that's design technology, but you may not know that that's design technology. So you can either email your guidance counselor and ask, or you can throw it into Google, and Google is your friend. How do I access my email? Okay, so you're going to log into Peel BYOD. And then again, if you are brand new to the board, you are not going to be able to access this yet until the first day of school and you've been verified. So on the first day of school, when you attend class, your teacher is going to click verified when they do your attendance, and then that is going to roll over your account within about a day, and then you'll be able to access everything. So if you are online and you're like, how am I going to be able to do that? Please email your guidance counselor and we're going to help you out, okay? On what classes to go, since there are 2 columns for semester 1, semester 2. Yes, so week 1, Ms. Vigliota, can you please circle week 1? Perfect. So that's all you need. So Thursday and Friday of the first day of school, those are the only 2 courses you need to worry about. 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon. And then again, you don't have to worry about semester 2 at all because we're not there yet. Okay. So you're only focusing on that top 2 rows, right? The bottom 2 rows is semester 2, and that doesn't start until the beginning of February. So I hope I've explained that a little bit better. Last year I did a video of how to read your timetable. I will probably do another video of how to read your timetable. So if you have any questions, you can always refer back to that if you've forgotten. Are any uniforms mandatory? Nope. No uniforms mandatory at all. I would suggest a change of clothes for phys ed, but other than that, you want to be respectful in what you wear. You know, like there are certain things you can't wear to school. So nothing that's got profane language or anything like that. But other than that, you are good to go. What if a student has not received a tentative timetable? Again, email your guidance counselor and we'll be happy to help. What will happen about the busing system? So if you're part of our enhanced learning program, you are going to want to contact Mr. Miller. So, and we will post his email in the announcements for you. So if you have questions about busing, please email him. He is our head of special education and enhanced learning program, and he will get you sorted for busing. What ends up happening is there just needs to be a quick little process right at the beginning of the school year to roll you over for busing. And then after that, you're going to want to log into Stop R, and they will have all of your busing information loaded up and sorted for them. Yes, you still have to do the daily screening even if you're vaccinated, 100%. It's how you get into the room. So where do new grade 9s? Okay, you're going to email your guidance counselor. Perfect. Receive their student number. Again, email your guidance counselor. At this point, if you've got questions because you haven't received your timetable, you don't know what your student number is, or you just have questions, email your guidance counselor. We are really busy doing registrations and all that kind of stuff. So a lengthy phone call is not going to happen until closer to the end of next week. But if you have general questions like I didn't receive a timetable, I don't know what my student number is, we can send you that information, easy peasy. You do only have 2 classes per day, which is why we're in a 2-week system. So for week 1, you've got 2 courses. For week 2, you have 2 courses. And again, I'm going to say ignore semester 2 because the goal that we're hoping is that we will be back to a full semester system for semester 2, which would mean 4 courses each day. We haven't heard word from yet, but that is the goal. So again, don't worry about semester 2 on that timetable, only worry about semester 1. So again, receive your timetable by emailing your guidance counselor. So the first day of school is going to look like what every other school day looks like for everybody. You're going to come in through your assigned entrance, anytime after 8:05 and before 8:20. You are going to walk to your class. You're going to sanitize, walk to your class, have your phone ready with that green check mark that says that you're safe to be in class because you don't have any signs or symptoms of COVID, and you're going to go to class, and then you're going to have lunch, and then you're going to go to period 2, and then you're going to go home, and you're going to have plenty of things to talk about. And that's what the first day of school looks like. So anything else that we have going on is probably going to take place over a longer period of time, such as a club fair or any kind of information stuff that gets posted. So again, those course codes, I know they can be tricky. If you have questions, you can either email your guidance counselor, but do try hitting Google first. Because sometimes even I bump into a course code, I'm like, I don't remember what that is. I Google. You don't have a student email or password. So you do have an email, you just don't know how to access that yet. And again, you can email your guidance counselor and we will send you the instructions on how you do that. Chose online option and an ELP program. Is there dedicated? No, there are no dedicated teachers to online learning. It's not like elementary where you're either online or you're in person. This one's a bit more fluid, which is why it's the community learning model. So let's say you're attending in person, but you're not really feeling well and you don't want to go to school. You can still attend your classes online. So just make sure that you've let your teacher know I won't be in today, but I'll be attending online. And then you can still keep up to date on all of the work. You're not missing anything by staying home because you're not feeling well. Or if you've got younger siblings that are being quarantined, you can stay home for that quarantine and still attend your classes online. That's why we've designed it the way that we have. So that you are still able to have the exact same teacher in the exact same class and you either attend in person or online. But if you are attending in person and you just can't make it to school that day because you don't feel well or you're in quarantine, you can still attend your classes and not miss any content by attending your lessons online. If you have busing information and you have gone to Stop R and you have been given a pickup time, the bus will be there. Yes. Okay, going to grade 9 from a different school board, did not get my timetable. Again, email your guidance counselor using the directory that's in the Student Services website, and we will email you one. Okay. So term 1 starts on the first day of school and ends sometime, I don't know the exact date. I'm gonna say it's mid-ish November, and then it would pick up from there to onward. Yes, the slide presentation will be posted on the Student Services site along with all of the resources that we've discussed. Is MTH 1WE Enhanced Math course? Yes, it is. So if a course code ends in an E, it means that it's an enhanced class. Okay. The W for MTH1W and ENL1W, those are the D-streamed classes that we have. So if the course code has a D or a P, those are streamed classes. And anything else is a D-streamed class, meaning everyone in that grade is taking that course. Enhanced is separate, but everyone else. So if you've got a course that's MTH1WO, that is all students. So even if you were in the academic pathway or were in the applied pathway, you are all taking that course together to learn together. How will clubs work? Great question. We're working on it. Again, we are doing that over the first couple weeks of school, and as we have club information, we will be posting it onto the Student Services website so that you can see what clubs are running, when they're running, and who to contact to find out more information. Emails will be ready as soon as you're verified. Okay, so again, bus schedule, you can email Mr. Miller, and I'll put his email in this chat once I'm through all these questions, and he can answer all of your questions about busing. When you volunteer, either it's online or outside, how do you find time to do so if you're still in school? So you have 4 years to do 40 hours. And so we've got a lot of activities in school that you can volunteer for. On the weekends, we have a lot of students that do the food bank. Any kind of charity event, even in the fall or in the spring when you don't want to do spring cleanup. And so we've got a lot of services to connect to if you're going to do yard waste cleanup. Some students have done tree planting, anything to help the community so there are some limitations, like you can't be doing something that someone else is getting paid to do. So a lot of times we've had students come in and say, well, I'm doing clerical work. And I'm like, that's not volunteer. It is volunteering, don't get me wrong, but it's not community service. Same thing goes if you are part of a club and you are, let's say, vice president of communications and you are submitting hours because you put together this great event. That's not community service. So you want to be really careful. If you have questions, you want to make sure that you're emailing your guidance counselor to be like, hey, heard about this volunteer opportunity, but I'm not really sure if it counts as community service. We are happy to help you with those. And anything that we post on our website is going to be perfect community hour opportunities for you. So yeah, you do your school, but you have 4 years to do 40 hours. And a lot of that's probably going to take place during the summer, and that's cool. You just want to make sure that you've got contact information and a way for someone to sign off on it. And then as you do it, up on that Student Services site, we have a Google form that you can use to submit your hours. So will ELP students be mixed with mainstream students for any classes, recess, lunch? So a secondary don't have recess. I know, I'm so sorry. But we do have a lunch, and yes, everyone takes their lunch at the exact same time. So enhanced classes include English, math, science, and geography for grade 9. Any other course that you are taking is total mainstream, and anyone can take it and be in those classes, especially electives. Okay, that's a Mr. Miller question for transportation. Okay, Yes, so I've talked about the de-streaming. That was one question there. So yes, right now our only 2 de-streaming courses are grade 9 math and English. Next year, grade 10 will also be de-streamed for math and English. At this point, I don't know if we will have other courses in grade 9 or grade 10 that will be de-streamed. That is something that we endeavor to discuss when we're doing our course planning, and we will be sure to make those announcements. But only grade 10, only next year, only grade 10 courses to be de-streamed will be English and math because they're de-streamed this year, and then we'll go from them. Semester 2 starts like February 1st-ish. I'd have to look at a calendar. I wanted to change my course, but the reason I wanted to change, okay, contact your guidance counselor and we'll take a gander. How will the music program maintain COVID safety guidelines? So Miss Conan, man, I got to give it to her and Mr. Mutri. They were doing music classes outside up until the chilly temperatures forced them inside. And then for some of it, they did band online. I know that they are paying very close attention to safety guidelines and making sure that everyone is nice and safe. I know that they've ordered a bunch of plexiglass so that students are in their own little space. Again, I don't have specifics for it, and I know that that's something that they were in the building yesterday working with admin to make sure that everything was nice and safe. More information will be coming about that. Are the extracurriculars going to be taking place in school or outside? So again, some may take place during lunch hours, especially as things continue to open up. Many will continue online for now with the goal of being in person later in the school year if our numbers are nice and healthy. Again, we're going to play that one by ear and we'll continue to post information about clubs. If I want to bring a laptop to school for educational purposes and the touchpad doesn't work on it, can I bring a mouse? Yes, you can. Go for it. Is the library open for drop-in basis students to use at lunch? So yes, for right now, it will be a limited capacity. I don't know how we're going to organize who gets in. So just make sure that you're paying attention to any signage that we put up for the library and any announcements that we post for the library to find out how you can access it. What's the dress code? Be dressed. No, you can wear pants, you can wear shorts, you can be comfortable is always my thing, especially when the temperatures are still warmer outside, and you may be outside for lunch and whatnot. So you want to dress appropriately. Just, you know, if you don't want to have any kind of vulgarity on your shirts, you don't want to, again, right, you don't want to wear anything that's inappropriate, but there's no uniform, there's no anything like that. Where do you sign up for school buses? That's a Mr. Miller question. And again, I will post his email. Please, is there an app for the COVID screening or a link for that? There is a link that's posted by the Ontario government for it. We will post that link up on the Student Services site. And if you want, all I've done is created a shortcut to the home screen on my phone. So I can just click that and then I answer the questions and then I get the green check mark and then I show that on my way in. This year, do you hand out textbooks to students? Yes, we even had textbooks out last year. They've been sanitized. They've been sitting there all summer, just waiting for students' hands. So those will be handed out when needed as well. Are the letter council organized based on for last names? Last names. So if your last name starts with A to D, that's Miss Bigliota. E to M is Miss Lagutis. N through Z is me, Miss Orr, and that's your last name. Co-op placements. So co-op placements right now, I believe, are regulated to being in person if you want or online if you want. There are choices. Mr. Flemington and Mr. Wong are 2 co-op teachers this year. They will be reaching out to co-op students as soon as possible to help you get set up for the health and safety part and then your placement. And they will help you with your placement if you don't already have one. So the class codes, yeah, so as I said, MTH 1W is the math, ENL is English, SNC is science, CGC is geography, FSF is French, PPL is phys ed, and then you might have TIJ, which is tech, BBI is business, ADI is art, AMI and AMR are the band and music course. ADA is drama, HFN would be the foods, or HIF would be the foods, family studies. I think I just went through them all. I'm sure Ms. Bigliota is telling me that I am forgetting some, but I think I got them all. And again, we'll post all of that stuff on there as well. If in grades 7 and 8, they needed specific colors to wear at the gym. Nope. If gym class, wear something breathable, comfy, and good for gym class. There's no uniform. You'll probably be given a Woodlands t-shirt if they've arrived in time. But other than that, you don't have to wear it, but it is available for you to wear. How are the timetables created? Like, are the courses grouped in terms of their complexity? No. So what we do is we know what courses we need based on what courses have been signed up. And then it all goes into a lovely computer matrix, and it builds the best timetable possible for the students. So it's not based on what's more complicated or what's easier. It's based on what fits best for the student timetable to be built. Are there going to be exams this year? Excellent question. I don't know. I know that we have examination periods. I know that teachers are being encouraged to go more project-based learning rather than tests and exams. But that is also still a department teacher decision within the school. So your best person to ask that is going to be your classroom teacher. Oh, your cat's biting you. That's not nice. Is the school bus running? Yes, they are. So if you have busing information for a pickup time and where to be, make sure you're there because your bus will come to get you. If you don't have that information yet, you're going to email Mr. Miller, and he will either get it activated or let you know about what time frame that's going to be able to happen. What do you do if you get lost? There are maps throughout the school. I promise. We post maps everywhere. It is a bit of a labyrinth, so don't worry, you're not going to be the only person who gets lost. In the morning, there are going to be tons of teachers out, as well as guidance in the front door. So if you've got questions, you can come straight to the front door, and guidance counselors are going to be there to help. We also have other teachers there to help guide you as well. So if you get lost, if you can find your way back to the front foyer, again, the main office is there. They can help you as well. Or you can just knock on any door where there's a teacher and be like, I don't know where I'm going, and they will help you, I promise. Are we able to switch from, yes, so there's going to be another survey closer to semester 2. You can change your learning model then. Students taking gyms without lockers. So we do have our change room, and there's lockers within the change room that they can use as well. So again, that's going to be information that's given to them by their gym teacher in the first few days of class. So there's no rotation in the class every day. So for this timetable here, you see that there's tech in the morning and French in the afternoon. That tech is always in the morning, that French is always in the afternoon for that week. We're not doing a flip-flop back and forth. We're already rotating enough. We didn't want to add any more confusion to there. Extracurriculars are being sorted out. I'm nearing the end. What time do buses leave in the morning? That is, buses leave the building. What if we miss our bus? Okay, so buses, they leave, so if school is over at 2:40, buses leave within about a 10-minute window. If you miss your bus, we have public transit, or you're gonna have to call someone and be like, I'm so sorry I missed my bus. So please make sure you don't miss your bus. But again, you can just go to the office and they'll let you use the phone if you don't have one. So Stop R is the place where you wanna go to find all of your busing information if you've already been signed up. Do I need Chromebooks in class? If so, how would I pick it up? You don't need a Chromebook in class. Some people prefer to have a computer for class, and some people prefer pen and paper. It's totally up to yourself. If you ever need to borrow a Chromebook, you can do so from the library. What are the different clubs at the school? We're going to post the club information up on the D2L. Yes, this presentation, or not the D2L, the Student Services site. Yes, the presentation was recorded. I'll be posting it there as well. No, locks will be given for lockers once we're able to use them, so don't worry about that. School supplies, binder, paper, pen or pencil. If you're in math, a calculator. That's about all you need for school supplies. And then your lunch. In your backpack. Where do I put stuff if I don't have a locker? Your backpack. It is going to force you to be wise about what it is that you bring. Sports, again, right now they are figuring out what sports they're going to be able to offer, and that information will be posted as soon as we have it. Will there be school bus services? Yep, done that. Okay, so if you've posted a question about buses, just email Mr. Miller. I'm not going to do any of that. Oh, you're very welcome. If he's ill and at home, is he able to join the class? Yes. So remember, if you are attending in person, technically, and you're not feeling well, or you're in quarantine, or you're just not feeling it today and you want to stay home, then you can. You just have to make sure that you're attending those classes online. So maybe your teacher's using D2L, you're going to want to click on that meeting link, or they're using Google, you want to click on that meeting link, let them know that you're online today, and they will mark your attendance accordingly, and then you don't miss any work. Textbooks, yes, I've done, yes. Okay, I think. All right, so for D2L, you will be automatically added to your classroom, but you will not see it until the very first day. They don't go live until the very first day of class. And if you are in a Google Classroom, your teacher will be adding you Tuesday or Wednesday to that class, so stay tuned for those links. But you will be added if by Thursday afternoon, you still have not been added to a Google Classroom or a D2L, please email your guidance counselor. And I know I keep saying, please email your guidance counselor. And I'm like, oh, there's going to be so many emails, but that's what we're here to help you with. And so we'll get you sorted out. You do not need to bring a device with you to school. So for your screening, you would need to print that off to bring with you to school. But and that's only if you don't have a device. If you've got a device, just show your green check mark on your tablet or phone. If you're not bringing a device to school, just make sure you have some way to show that to your classroom teacher. Again, if you have a course change request, the course change request form went out on Friday. Please fill that out. And guidance counselors are taking a look at that in between now and next Friday when it closes. I don't know what textbooks are being used. So again, that's going to be a question for your classroom teacher. Again, if you've got questions about busing and eligibility of busing, please make sure that you are emailing Mr. Miller. School starts on Thursday, right? So a week yesterday. That's going to be our first day of school. So as far as we're aware, bus companies are not providing courtesy busing. So that was busing that was for people who lived farther away. We could often register and request courtesy busing. Due to COVID-19, they've not been able to do so in the last year and a bit. But we're hoping that that's something that's going to be an option later on. Again, any of those kinds of questions, you can email either Mr. Miller, and I'm even going to tack on Ms. Esme to that. And again, I will share both of those emails once I'm through with this, and I'll post that information on the Student Services site as well. You're not going to get bored with 2 classes, I promise. You're going to be in there plenty. And again, right, it's only for the week. And so that time is going to be lessons, activities, homework in class, so that hopefully you don't have too much homework after class. And then boom, you switch and you've got a whole 2 other courses for that following week. So you won't get bored. And you'll have all these new people to meet and this whole new school to get used to. Okay. So again, on Thursday, Friday, you are following week 1 schedule. There's no homeroom. No, we don't do homeroom on a secondary level. So you just go to period 1 class. Field trips, maybe. Right now, we're just trying to get school started. I look forward to the day when we can have field trips again, but we're going to have to play that one by ear. And I'm going to post Mr. Miller's contact information shortly. COVID screening, the link's going to be on the Student Services site. I think I have yes. So for lunch, you're absolutely allowed to go home. You can go to any of the plazas for lunch. You can go and sit under a tree and have a nap. It's totally up to yourself what you do during lunch. Just make sure that you are back in the building by 12-ish so that you are in your class by 12:10. Follow up to that, food delivery services. Please be aware that if there is ever any unclaimed food, the office staff really enjoy it. So there you go. So make sure that if you're using anything like Skip or Uber Eats, you're being very conscientious about that. You will not be permitted to leave class to go and pick up your food order. We've had students try it and it doesn't work. So please don't do that. Timetable is already done. Attending in person. Again, every student will be added to a D2L or a Google Classroom, and so every student will have access to the online platform as well, even if they are attending 100% in person. Yes, we will be sending out another email closer to the beginning of school with more safety procedures, so just stay tuned for that. And I'll also ask admin to make sure that all of the links are in that email for daily screenings and whatnot. Okay, I think now we're just really repeating a lot of the questions. No, your hours for volunteering do not reset, they accumulate. So if you do 40 hours in grade 9, you don't lose those by grade 10. If you do 5 hours every year, and then 10 in the last and 20, you're good. Yeah, you've got 4 years to do 40 hours, that's it. You can absolutely do volunteering in the summer. Okay. Oh, OSSLT exam, yes, that's happening this year. I don't know how, I don't know the format, I don't know the date. All we know is that we've been asked to start prepping for it. So once we have actual details about that, we will send out information, promise. So the daily screening is there's one for parents, students, teachers, and you just answer a bunch of questions online, and then it gives you a green check mark. And again, that link is going to be up there. I'm going to post this presentation as soon as it downloads. So there you go. And I'll post it to the Student Services site so that you've got it. And how do I identify a teacher? Do they wear a badge? No. Sometimes your teacher will come to the door and greet you right at about 8:05-ish, and they'll introduce themselves. But after that, it's you heading to the classroom. They'll be the teacher that's in the classroom, and then you'll get to know everybody. Okay, if you have specific course questions, please email your guidance counselor, and we'll be happy to help. In terms of school supplies, you just want to have your regular stuff. So a binder, paper, pen or pencil, calculator if needed, gym materials if needed, bring your lunch. Again, remember, it's all going to be in your backpack because there's no lockers, so you want to pack light. If you want to bring a Chromebook or a laptop or a device of some sort, you can. It's your responsibility. And please make sure your phone's on silent because, wow, if it starts ringing in the middle of class. Okay. I think that is about it. Again, if you have any questions that we've missed, please email your guidance counselor and we will be able to help you out. I'm going to put Mr. Miller's email in the right now. And again, if you are ELP and you have questions about busing, please email Mr. Miller. Okay, so if you are in the enhanced learning program and you have questions about busing, please email him and he will let you know any information that is about that. If you are not part of the ELP and you have questions about busing in general, please email the school, and they will put you in contact with those that are in charge of courtesy busing, and they will help you out as best as we can. I think that is about it. I think we are going to call it. Again, if you have any specific questions that didn't get covered today, please email your guidance counselor and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. We are dealing with a high volume of emails, but we will do our best. Our course change request form closes next Friday. If you go home for lunch, you do not have to sign out. There is free Wi-Fi at the school. So grade 9 classes range anywhere from 22 in a class to 27 to 28. And our tech is a little bit lower than that as well. Parent-teacher meetings, to be determined. I hope we get to do an open house and teacher night, parent-teacher night. I don't know yet, information pending, because I know even the teachers have really missed that. Okay. Eating lunch in the hallways. I don't know. I don't think so, but I will check. Okay, that's it. Again, if there was a question that didn't get answered, please email your guidance counselor. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. We are dealing with a higher volume, so please be patient. We appreciate it. If you have a question about general busing, please email the school. If you have an email up, or if you have a question about the ELP, any kind of question about the enhanced learning program, please email Mr. Miller. If you have questions about special education, please email Mr. Miller. He's in charge of all of that, and that includes busing for all enhanced learning program students. Okay, it was great to talk to you, and I hope I get to talk with you on Thursday if you are attending in person, and if you are attending online, I wish you the best of luck, and I can't wait until we are all back in person. Stay safe, stay healthy, and take care. Bye.